Did you see somebody has created a Devlin McGregor website?
No.
Did you see that? I have seen it.
No way.
Yes, Dr. Lentz is on it. The
No
one-armed man is
way.
on it as security. Yes,
No way.
yes,
Hang on, I'm
yes,
going now.
and yes. All the yes. I've seen it. It exists. I don't know who spends the time doing that, but all I say to that person is, well done.
Well done.
I do not say get a life. I say, well done.
No, appreciate it. We want more.
Well, we need to know.
Yeah.
If only Richard Kimball and you know, well, I guess Gerard was able to have that too, right?
Yeah.
844-204-RICH, number to dial. For our radio audience that's just rejoined us, we just had a very important conversation about The Fugitive. Oh, my God. I mean, everything's up the alley of our next guest, who is kind enough to call in every single Wednesday during the football season. It's been about a good month, so we missed him. He had us at hello on Good Morning Football, and his podcast, 10 Questions with Kyle Brandt, on Spotify and The Ringer, is dynamite. His guest this week, Chris, are you ready for this? Pat McAfee.
Yeah, good buddy.
Another national treasure, Pat McAfee. He is Kyle Brandt. How are you, Kyle?
He falsified his research. So Devlin McGregor could bring you the
Provasic.
Oh, what a great plan. God, I love Fugitive Talk with you, Rich.
Oh, it is the best. It is the absolute best. There was when we took a week of downtime after the Super Bowl. There was a meme on Twitter about, drop a movie line, the random movie line that's familiar only to.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, only to the fans of the movie. And the one I chose from The Fugitive was you were pointing my gun at me, and that's just that's the random line I think only.
Rich, I saw that tweet, and
Okay.
I sat there for a second, and I said, hold on, I pointed your gun at you. Oh, that's Deputy Samuel Gerard.
That's right.
And that's on the phone with Kimball. And Kimball's, do you remember what I said? I remember you pointing your gun at me. You said, I'm not trying to put together a puzzle. Well, I am trying to put together a puzzle. And I just found a big piece.
And he puts the phone down and lets them trace him to the one-armed man's house. Oh, God, I could do this all day.
Right to the one-armed man's house. It's great to be on with you, Rich.
Great to have you.
You and I have come such a long way in our on-air relationship, and yet, to use one of your new favorite phrases, I feel like we're just getting started.
Hey now, everybody.
Hey
Kyle
now.
Brandt.
Kyle Brandt.
And I'm dipping my
Rich,
toe
I'm
in the
listening
pot.
to your stuff. Can we talk about this for a second? So McConaughey comes on.
Yes.
Fascinating clip where he casually reveals, and clearly you didn't know this was coming, no one could, that he's never been completely satisfied with one of his performances.
That's right.
He sees the films and he's never completely satisfied, and I was immediately riveted.
Absolutely. I couldn't believe that either. That he said he's never been thoroughly satisfied. And then, you've interviewed him for your pod too. So you know that the way he tells stories, you don't want to interrupt his flow. But I almost interrupted him on the spot to say, so the one that you won the Oscar for Dallas Buyers Club, that wasn't it? I mean, you've got to be kidding me. And I'd never asked him about Wolf of Wall Street, and he went in the direction of that I will direct people to the pod because I don't know, the line that he said that leapt off the page at him is something that is safe for this particular work. But he's dynamite, man. There's no doubt about it.
It's so good. And Rich, you use the word flow very generously, because McConaughey has that Texas flow where he will stop for a very pregnant, 40 weeks pregnant pause to collect his thoughts and then continue. And you just trust it because he's so original and it's going to go a good place. And I'm telling you, I just got immediately riveted. Just awesome stuff.
Well, I appreciate you bringing that up because it is a new labor of love for me and Kyle Brandt here on the Rich Eisen Show. So, I came on the air talking about cap numbers and try to put it in perspective about, the fact that what the quarterback eats up of the cap, and Dak now actually eats up 4% less for the Cowboys now that this signing has taken place, that you'd rather be in the position of having Kyler, Lamar, Allen, Baker, Herbert, Tua, and I'll leave Darnold out of it for the moment, than maybe to be in the boat with Matt Ryan at 22% of the cap that he's eating up, or Kirk Cousins 16.5 eating up. And, the one team or even maybe Russ, it's 17%. He's just one of the only few guys. It just seems that once your quarterback gets north of 15% of your cap, you're in danger of not winning it because you can't surround him. And Russ is like, I need protection. And the question is can they afford it? So on and so forth. I wonder what your philosophy is, certainly with your team that you grew up loving. Yeah. Now in the quarterback market. and maybe needing to start from scratch if the ownership is comfortable with the people they might give only one more year to. You have the floor on that.
Yeah, it's conflicting, I think, for fans. I think the day that you draft a quarterback and they take the picture and hold up the jersey is really exciting. Like, you're going to buy that jersey. You love it. We got a new hope, a new quarterback. That's a great day. But the day that the quarterback signs the huge contract, and I mean this modern era huge, it's bittersweet. It's conflicting because you're like, okay, we got our guy. They invested in him. They're in. But are we going to win this thing? Because to your point, Rich, point to the quarterback recently who's made huge money, all these guys you're naming, who won the Super Bowl. They're not there. It's rookie contract Patrick Mahomes. It's continuously discount Brady. It's those guys, not only they're not winning the Super Bowl, I'm talking about Russ and Rodgers and all the big money guys. They're sometimes not even getting there. So we are on a streak right now of when's the first time that a quarterback making $37 million, making $40 million is going to win the Super Bowl? I don't think it's a coincidence. And I think as a player, as a Bears enthusiast like me, they got a whole different set of problems. The Bears fans would love to overpay for a quarterback. That is the biggest champagne problem of all time. I've reached the point with this Bears thing, Rich, where I'm saying, screw it. Let's try something irresponsible because it's been 102 years of wanting a quarterback. Trade everything that is not nailed down. And I mean Mac, Roquan, Eddie Jackson, Cody Whitehair, their best linemen. As I heard you say on the air, I think it's the deed to Soldier Field, just anything for Deshaun or Russ, either of them, and there will be a ticker tape parade past the Field Museum in downtown Chicago just for getting a quarterback. As a Bears fan, just once in my life, I would love to say, man, we got a great quarterback. If only we could build a team around him. I just want to lose 53-51. I would rather do that than do what they're doing all these years.
What about Alex Smith? And I say that knowing that you interviewed him just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Because he's not. I don't think he's done. I don't think he wants to. He went through all those surgeries just to come back to mentor Trevor Lawrence. And so he's a guy that clearly was around when Nagy was there, and he was the guy who was taking them to the playoffs before Mahomes took it over. Well, what about that concept? What did you sense from Alex when you interviewed him on your podcast a few weeks ago?
It's a great name to bring up because I feel like it's a snake in the grass in this whole thing we're doing right now. I'll tell you why. Alex Smith had this to say, and I'm paraphrasing, but his thought was, look, I didn't know how the leg was going to hold up. I had no idea. I knew I wanted to get back out there. I did not know what to expect. And then I banged on it, and I banged on it, and I banged on it, and he himself was palpably shocked how well it held up. He said he felt fine. He said he felt like himself. And he wants to play a lot more football. There's this idea of, and I asked him about this, I said, all right, so you're the comeback player of the year. That is this incredible little bow on your career. Now you have this beautiful wife and these children. You've made all the money in the world, Alex. You're totally respected. Now you walk away. You've done it. You made the comeback. Congratulations. Now you walk away. And he wants nothing to do with that. And to the question of why bother? What's the risk? Because he loves playing. He loves the game, and he has more winning to do. Let's be honest. He was by far the best quarterback on Washington last year. If they had started him from week one, that's a 9, 10, 11 win team. And I really mean that. They win the division anyway, and now they jettison him. So someone like the Bears, someone like the Patriots, one of these other teams that may be dissatisfied looking to move, like the Dolphins. Like Alex Smith, all he does is win. I think it's a great name. And the Bears fans, this is what happened. Let's say the Bears make a move for Alex Smith. It doesn't go over well. Alex Smith, game manager, can he hold up? He wins. I think if the Bears get Alex Smith this season, they will win.
Right. Don't turn it over. Let the defense only give up 17. You put 21-24 on the board. I mean, that's how he went 5-1 for the Washington football team as a starter this year. I mean, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, it works. And you got good players around him, and you're keeping Robinson, and you have Montgomery. Like, that would work. And listen, people say, well, he missed the playoff game. As far as I understand, the playoff game injury had nothing to do with the catastrophic injury. It was just bad timing, and he was out there. And as we saw, Washington was close with Tampa in that game. Washington played Tampa better than KC did in the Super Bowl. I know Alex Smith is not Deshaun. It is not Russell Wilson. It is not Trevor Lawrence. But Alex Smith would win. Sign him this year. Go to the playoffs. Win 10 games. You'll do it.
Kyle Brandt here on the Rich Eisen show. And so what else is on your Good Morning Football docket, when you're sitting here week before new league year, all of that stuff? What are you guys talking about that leaps out at you?
A lot of questions, Rich, that are like, we're kind of at the precipice. New league year, all this free agency. Who's the team you think's got something coming? Who's the team that's going to do the cannonball into the deep end and say, whoa? And the team that I can't get away from is I just can't possibly see New England playing it safe. I just don't. And I mean specifically at quarterback. The way things are now, I say this. You had a year where you lost Tom Brady. Okay, it went cataclysmically. You lost players to opt out. You took a shot. They took a real bold shot with Cam Newton. It didn't work out. There's no way that Bill Belichick, McDaniel, et al. Are going to say, well, we'll just go with Jarrett Stidham, or maybe we make a move for, Mariota. No, I think they're going to do something incredibly dynamic, whether it be through an existing quarterback or wildly moving up for one of these rookies. But I just don't think they're going to sit around and be like, well, it was fun for 20 years while Tom was here. Now he can win Super Bowls, and we're just going to eke our way to 8-8 and try to rebuild. I think there is a massive, massive move coming from New England.
Well, I mean, and in that, yesterday I was just going totally tinfoil hat, crazy ass conspiracy to the point where TJ Jefferson, my social media grandmaster, immediately posted with the gif of Charlie Day pointing to the board, with all that stuff with the strings and all the periodicals and articles on the board. So I would, if I call this, it's one of those trick shots in billiards, if you will. I mean, where all the balls go into the pockets. Deshaun to the Dolphins, Tua to the Texans, Sam Darnold to the Niners, who then make Jimmy G available for the Patriots, and the Jets draft Zach Wilson.
Oh, it's so immaculate. That's the Paul Newman color of money. You got the queue up right and everything. It's so clean. I love it, and I feel like everyone gets happy, which is why I'm skeptical of it, because I'm thinking there's going to be disarray. And that didn't even touch the rim. That went right down the net. Clearly you've put a lot of thought into it. Of course, it could all stop. And none of it could work.
Or none of it happens.
That you were working with named Deshaun Watson, the Texans say, nope, you're not going anywhere, my friend. And, we debate that a lot, too, in the morning about, is he really going to leave? What's going to happen? Is he going to ever play down with another team? I'm kind of come around into saying that I think this time of year the teams get so worked up, how can I clean this up? So randy for quarterbacks, if you will, that I think that someone is going to make a nearly ludicrous offer to the Texans, and it will be the classic offer you can't refuse, and they'll finally say, fine, go, we never want to see you again, and we're going to take all this king's ransom. I think it will happen eventually.
And again, going back to these numbers that I had here to start the show about quarterbacks eating up percentage of the cap, I looked it up. Deshaun Watson only eats up currently in 2021 8% of the Texans' cap. That's it. Another reason why they're
great.
Another reason why they'll either extract, more Herschel Walker type stuff on steroids, to use the phrase, or they'll say there's no way that they're going to trade him. I mean, year two in this, he's only 8% of their cap, and they could try and build something for their new coach. I just don't know. We'll just put a pin in that because I do want to give you the last couple minutes here to talk about your conversation with McAfee, which has to be what the kids might say epic, right?
The kids are always saying that it's lit, and those are facts, as
That's
the kids also say. Rich, I would say you have Pat McAfee on, and you're expecting someone who's a professional wrestler, and he literally is a professional wrestler. It's the rookie of the year, in fact. And the expectations are high, and yet he comes in and he meets all of them, and he's everything we want. Energetic, anecdotal. I asked him something that involves you, in fact, that I was asking him about the night at the draft in Nashville 2019 when he announced the Colts pick. Because I think that was like his breakout single. I think that blew him up. I think everyone in Nashville was talking about him. You on the call and Daniel Jeremiah are laughing. And I said, so when you come out and you do this incredible bit and you roast the Titans, like what went into it? And he proceeds to tell the story of being backstage drinking beers with Shane Leckler, and he bought his clothes at some sort of store on the way over, and Goodell comes and gives him the fist pound, and then he comes out and just kind of wings it and has orangutan jokes, and I think he left that stage a star, and the way he tells it just backs all of that up. You remember that moment.
And also, Kyle, for those who might not have been there, Lower Broadway was jam-filled with human beings. I mean, it was it just, as far as the eye can see, there were people there who were all fired up for A, the draft, and B, the Titans. And for him to come out there and troll like that's similar to Drew Pearson stepping up to the podium in Philadelphia with all of the Ben Franklin Parkway filled with human beings there for the draft and the Eagles. It's on par with that, but obviously a little bit more millennial. And he look, I have nothing but love for Pat. You know, he's one of the best. So the two of you must have had a great conversation.
It was so good. All kinds of stuff, the wrestling stuff, the football stuff. I really pressed him on, hey, Pat, you quit the NFL to join Barstool.
Yep.
Barstool years ago. Are you kidding me? You telling me you don't regret that? Well, that was a wild decision. And he has a really lucid, insightful answer that really got to the core of who he is. And at the end of it, I bought it. I bought every word.
Well,
it was great, man.
Look,
it was really
everybody thinks Pat's just some wacky punter who goes top rope for either literally or figuratively, right? But he's got some outstanding business sense on all of this. He knows exactly what he's doing. He knows what content is and how people consume it, and he doesn't just throw anything against the wall. And he's got respect of a bunch of people. I mean, Aaron Rodgers sitting there in front of his brick background every single week, win or lose, for him just speaks volumes, obviously. So we all know
the best. Absolutely the best. So everybody check out McAfee. But first, obviously, come on. If you haven't checked out Just Getting Started,
oh,
it's
stop,
a great
Kyle.
concept.
You're here to promote.
I was way into it, and I'm into it still.
I got 3 hours to promote my podcast. You're here to promote yours on Ringer and Spotify. And before I let you go, what's your random movie line? Drop one for me. We'll see if we can get it. What do you got for me?
Okay.
I know you've probably got a million of them in your head.
Right now, the line is, "You're officially out of limes, Jack."
You're officially out of lines, Jack.
Limes, right?
Yes, that's limes.
You're officially out of limes, Jack. Oh, that's Boogie Nights.
That's Boogie Nights. Roller Girl.
Oh,
Rich, you got it.
You're out of please. I mean, if you're going to go Roller Girl on me, I mean, my gosh.
Hey now.
Another person who had me at hello is Roller Girl. I've not seen Boogie Nights in a long time.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, I've got a 12, 10, and a 7 at home.
That would be tough for them to casually walk in.
Yeah, you don't want that.
No. Like, I don't even think you can watch that with your parents when you're like 40. I don't want to watch Boogie Nights with my dad right now.
Although every single time that I screw up and I say something that I'm an idiot, all I think of is that scene, with Philip Seymour Hoffman behind the wheel of the car.
You're an idiot.
I mean, oh my! I mean, that's like
he throws himself at Dirk Diggler and tries to kiss him. And he as the kids say, Rich, he shot his shot.
He did. YOLO. He went YOLO. Kyle, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Let's do this. Let's do it in April. Let's set up the draft. Let's do all that good stuff.
Okay, wait, man. Love it.
Thanks again, Kyle. That's
right, see you guys.
Kyle Brandt. Check him out on Good Morning Football every single morning on NFL Network and his podcast on Ringer and Spotify. Pat McAfee is his guest this week. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.